characters connect.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things is, intricate plots and, twists at the end. I love those kind of stories. So like we have one we just did, the spy theme, which kind of, now the kids know in the beginning that these two characters are twins because one gets kidnapped, and then it's basically they're against each other. They're pitted against each other, and they're twins, and there's one good spy and one bad spy, Mason and Jason. And then at the end, there's a plot twist for them. Now the kids all know, but there's a plot twist where they discover that they're twins, and then they join forces and fight evil and all that. So those kind of things are good. They're great stories. And then, of course, we talk about it often about our sets. We do really big, crazy sets. We do big slides, tunnels, mazes, all this kind of stuff. So all that's good, and we don't want to get rid of any of that. But the driver, what creates lasting memories and therefore an impact, is the characters.
The characters, yep.
Because that's what kids really, they do remember, like, oh, when are we going to have a big slide again or whatever, but they really remember characters.
Oh, yeah, and you can even say, like, some of our current staff know, like, an example would be the Ruthless character.
Mm-hmm.
We've probably talked about it in different podcasts where other people have.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But that is something that, if you were to ask Maya, for an example.
Yes.
Like, she hasn't been in Sunday school in... I
don't even know years. How long. Yeah, she's probably 18 or something.
Yeah,
19?
18, 19, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think 18, but regardless.
Yeah.
She, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but she was almost like traumatized by this character.
Oh, yes.
Nightmares are at home trying to sleep, and she'd run into Mom's room and talk about Ruthless or stuff like that. So maybe that's not that
was a little
quite
too
the
far,
example
probably.
we were going for, but but that's the character. And again, there's
that's
other
how
ones.
Strong that character was.
I've heard of. I don't know have I experienced Captain John? I don't know if
you probably haven't, and we really need to bring him back. But yeah, Captain John was another. Every bit as epic as Ruthless, but just a good guy, and jolly and funny.
Yeah, and there's
Sammy.
Sammy is a perfect one. That's a perfect combination of who Brennan is.
Yeah,
and the character that you can kind of gel them so well.
Yeah,
and have that. And I think that's one thing too is a lot of people have that little bit of that character, perhaps that. It gives that way, or
they can bring some of their personality into it to give it authenticity.
Yes.
Brother Aaron and I were talking about being funny, and Brennan's character Sammy is funny, but yet it's like he's not trying to be funny, like he's serious,
right?
So he's not laughing and joking.
No.
He's serious, but it's absurd, and so the kids are laughing, and they're having a good time. So yeah, I think that it provides that authenticity, to the character.
Yeah, and there's probably numerous other examples too that I've heard of characters that we've done or you guys have done through the course of Sunday school when I wasn't a part of it, and it's just kids remember, or like I said, the older kids now that are teenagers, young adults that can go, oh, I remember when we did. This person was this person for Sunday school, and this, and
it's kind of like, I think, and I argue back and forth with myself, and I've heard the debate about plot versus character, and a lot of people are pro characters, and that's kind of what we're talking about today. Like they say characters drive the story. A lot of people are pro plot drives the story, and characters are sprinkled in.
Right.
And I don't know, I go back and forth, but I do think I was just talking to Adrian about this, about music. And I still do some, but I used to listen to a lot of instrumental music. I just like the music, part of it.
Yep.
But what's the most popular music is lyrical music, is music with lyrics. And a lot of times it's very simple lyrics. It's just, it's got a hook, and it's repeatable. And so I think it's almost like that. Characters are like lyrics. You have this baseline of a really good plot. But if you have good characters, like especially if the characters are well defined, like I guess the more mature the audience is, and I don't like to. I think kids are a good audience,
Mm-hmm.
but the more mature an audience is, then maybe you can go more subtlety and more nuanced. But I think if you have characters that are like, we'll create things for a character. So number 2 is embrace your character's reality. We will create, like Captain John, for example. We created some personality for him, like that he's fearless.
Mm-hmm.
He's not scared of anything, and he always gets lost. He's always gets lost, and he's super jolly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we mandated that, but he's always just super jolly. He's always upbeat, and so that it's like that character is very defined as that, and so it would be out of character for him to be grouchy or something like that, you know? Which he plays those characters too, he's the evil guy.
Yep.
So anyway,
I was going to say those two, John, who does these different characters, like a lot of time he is more on the villain side.
Yeah,
of
he's
character.
a resident bad guy. Yeah.
So to see him play that complete opposite again.
Yes.
A neat way to address a character, I guess. And I guess you could also say that we talk about the plot and characters. If you don't have good characters, the plot dries up. Like if you just have people come out and just be playing characters and just whether it's confidence or other things, or maybe just not
then the plot doesn't mean, it doesn't have any meaning.
It's not gonna gel. It's not gonna
it's not relatable.
No,
if you have characters, the kids relate to these characters in certain ways. Like even the bad guy, they relate, like, they feel terrible because that guy's so bad.
And I mean, you've heard numerous times, and we've probably mentioned numerous times of, not during Sunday school, but we're out regular service Sunday night, Wednesday, whatever, after Sunday school, kids coming up to you, talking about your character or what happened to so and so, or are you going to be this? Is just stuff. I can't think of anything on top of my head, but they're absorbing it, and again, I don't know if they would absorb that or follow it if it was kind of just
plot driven.
And
exactly.
more or less dry and just kind of like, oh, okay.
I
don't know what that was about, or
and I think that like myself writing most of our scripting, it would be easy for me to like, oh, this is such a cool plot.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of times the kids aren't following the plot real well, and we have kids that don't come every week.
Right, the age group, the bus kids that come 3 weeks and then they're not there for 2 weeks. And
so they might miss the plot, but the character, they'll be like, oh, there's that character again. I remember that character. I know that character.
Yep.